What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we need to talk about Vinco Ventures stock, ticker symbol BBIG, because this stock is absolutely popping off again for the third day in a row. It looks like we're going to see some big gains on BBIG stock. So let's start off taking a look at the chart, because we've got to talk about the potential that this stock has and where it might be going in the future based off of what catalysts, right? So obviously, it's been doing incredibly well over the past couple of days. You can see that we had a nice bounce off of around $2.20 and just continued moving up off of that. Now we're at $4.10, so we've basically doubled the price so far. Now, in the past, BBIG has had much larger runs than this. The last run, when people were clamoring for a short squeeze and were also hoping that the Cryptide dividend would be coming out soon, we had this thing go up to $12.50. Now, we'll talk more about the Cryptide dividend later, but what I wanted to talk about now is what's generating this current rally that we're seeing at the moment. So obviously, we're up multiple days in a row in a big way. And most of that is because of consumer sentiment, right? Retail sentiment is very positive for BBIG stock at the moment. A ton of people are talking about this stock in a ton of different places, but we're going to talk about that for just a little bit, and then we're going to move into some more interesting areas like short squeeze potential and gamma squeeze potential, because that's what we're starting to see build up as the consumer sentiment helps to drive up BBIG stock price. So what we're going to look at first is the Google Trends data. So obviously, BBIG stock has been doing incredibly well. If you search for it on Google, you'll see that it's actually been trending up and pretty much every day, making new highs, new records of around 100 this morning at 9 a.m. A ton of people are searching for this stock, not just on Google, but also on Reddit and Wall Street Bets. You can see that we are up 4 places today on the Wall Street Bets ranking or the Reddit ranking, up to spot number 7. Vinco Ventures, or BBIG, is up with the 257 mentions and almost 4,000 upvotes. So it's actually much higher ranked if you look at just the upvotes. If you rank it based off of that, it's actually the number 4 stock. So it's up over here at number 4. But not only that, it's also the number 2 most active on StockTwits. So the places that people are talking about BBIG are numerous, right? There's a bunch of people talking about BBIG and helping to pump it up. And that's exactly what a stock needs if it's going to go through a non-fundamental rally, right? If it's just going to go through a pump, then that's exactly what you want to see. And that's what we're seeing with BBIG. That's why we're up about 16% today. Now, a lot of people are also talking about other possibilities that the stock has to be running up. Potentially, the short interest could be a reason that this stock might be moving in the future. Now, we're going to look at the potential situation where that could be happening and talk about why it probably won't happen for a bit, although there are some other things that could be driving up BBIG in the near future. We're going to look at the short interest first. So obviously, this is the short interest on Ortex. You can see that currently BBIG sits at 25% short interest regarding the free float. About 31 million shares are short on BBIG stock. It is a fairly heavily shorted stock. However, it doesn't seem likely for a short squeeze to occur because in the past, we've actually skyrocketed to much higher highs than where we currently are, right? We actually moved up as high as $12.49 over the course of the past year. We were more recently at closer to $9 the last time BBIG rallied. But once again, $12.50 is about the highs of where it got, and that did not actually trigger a short squeeze. In fact, if you look at this green line that's overlaying the price, you can see that's the short interest, and it actually just increased steadily throughout the whole process. So shorts never really covered, even when BBIG was trading at $12.50. And a lot of these short positions were in fact actually generated during the time when BBIG was more expensive than it currently is, around the $6 to $7, maybe even $8 in price is when a lot of these shorts were coming in. So obviously, a lot of the shorts are currently in the money, right? They are in green. They're currently making money. They don't have to worry about covering their positions for a long time. BBIG would have to go up quite a bit before those shorts are in the red and actually down on money and worried about losing more and worried about some kind of squeeze situation. So we currently, unfortunately, don't have too much short squeeze potential to look forward to, but that's not everything for BBIG. There's also something called a gamma squeeze that we're going to explain very shortly from now. But first, I did want to show you guys the channel analytics. We currently sit at about 9,800 subscribers, and we're trying to grow this thing to 10,000. So if you guys want more BBIG stock updates, feel free to subscribe to the channel because we will certainly be covering it in the future throughout the course of this pump at the very least. And if you guys want, it would be much appreciated to help us get closer to 10K. So we only need about 200 to do that. Now, for a gamma squeeze, for those of you who don't know, a gamma squeeze is purely based off of the options activity that you see in a stock. And here we've pulled up the options chain for BBIG. Now, a lot of people are talking about a potential gamma squeeze today, right? January 14th, because today is an expiration date for a lot of options. However, I'll point out why that's unlikely that we'll see a big gamma squeeze today. Now, obviously, we could see an appreciation in price today, but that would probably be more so based off of momentum and volume, right? So currently, looking at the options chain, you can see this line here is what we really care about, the open interest line. So you can see that we have about 10,000 open interest call options at $3.50, 9,000 at $4, 7,000 at $3, 4,000 at $2.50, and all in all, this isn't the highest amount of open interest call options. Now, to get a gamma squeeze, what you're going to need is a bunch of open interest call options and to see the stock price rising. Now, the reason you need that is because what a gamma squeeze is essentially that every time an institution sells a call option, it's recorded, or anyone sells a call option, it's recorded as an open interest call option, and it obligates that institution or individual to then buy up and deliver shares of that stock if they don't already own them, if the stock rises above that strike price by the strike date. So what you can see is with a more populated option chain, like the January 21st options, where you actually have tens of thousands of options at each strike date. It's much more populated than the January 14th options chain. You can see that there is the real potential where institutions could be having to deliver an absolutely massive amount of shares because one open interest call option is actually equivalent to 100 shares of stock. So multiply all of these tens of thousands of call options by 100 shares of stock each, and you're actually looking at quite a few shares of stock, many millions of shares of stock that institutions most likely would have to be purchasing up and handing out to investors if BBIG is able to reach some of these higher prices. Now, we've already gotten about 33,000 open interest call options at the $4 strike price, 18,000 open interest call options at the $3.50 strike price, and 11,000 at the $3 strike price. But what we're really looking for is to get some of these even larger open interest call options in the money, right? So particularly the $5 open interest call options would be nice to get because there are 70,000 of them, more than all we've gotten combined. So we could actually be getting quite a few more open interest calls in the money, and that would actually be what could trigger a gamma squeeze situation on BBIG. Now, it's unlikely that we're going to see one today on January 14th, but we could really look at a real possibility for it sometime January 21st. That's next Friday. So there is potential for this squeeze to continue. Now, obviously, shorts do not want that. It's going to be a very risky situation just staying in BBIG stock because we have had the rug pulled on us before, multiple times actually. If you look back at the past year, you can see multiple times that BBIG has been pumping up and then crashes down big. We've seen that a couple of times with BBIG. So it's not a guarantee that this run is going to turn into a massive gaining position. Obviously, at any point, especially right now, before we're actually getting a gamma squeeze or a short squeeze or anything like that, if momentum just dies down and interest dies down in the stock, then that would probably be the end of the rally, and we would probably see BBIG move down in price fairly quickly. Obviously, a lot of people aren't interested in this company for the long-term fundamentals. A lot of people are just getting in this for the short squeeze, gamma squeeze potential that it has. And we could see, I did say that we probably wouldn't see a gamma or a short squeeze anytime soon. We could see a short squeeze eventually. It's just that we would have to get probably to a much, much higher price. And it's possible, right? Stocks have done crazier things. BBIG is a good candidate to potentially rally behind a short squeeze for. But once again, we'll have to get up probably above the previous highs of what we've seen. So probably above $12.50. And we are still a long ways off from that. What's more pressing is the potential for a gamma squeeze, right? That's what we're probably most likely hoping for come next week, next Friday, when these options begin to expire on January 21st. That's what we should really be keeping an eye out for and hoping for. And as well, the final catalyst that BBIG has, the Cryptide dividend, which we don't actually know the launch date of. We don't know when the record date for that dividend is going to be. It's essentially going to be a second company that they give shares of to BBIG stockholders for. So, we'll maybe cover that in a different video. It's a bit of a complex issue, but essentially all you need to know is there's going to be a Cryptide dividend that a lot of people are clamoring to get their hands on, and that right before that launches, during the record date, when they're actually keeping track of who's holding BBIG shares, that's when we could see an appreciation in BBIG stock price due to the Cryptide dividend. So we'll talk about that potentially in a different video. If you guys want to hear about it, make sure to subscribe and like the video so I know that there is interest in BBIG, and also to help share this. I mean, potentially, the more people who hear about BBIG, from this kind of video might get into the stock and drive up momentum. Obviously, I'm not recommending that anyone do that. I'm not giving financial advice to anyone. This video is not financial advice. It's just my opinion overlaid with some of the BBIG stock news. So if you guys are interested in more of that, feel free to subscribe and like the video. And other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.